I used to work at a camp in Texas, the Texas Lions Camp for Handicapped Children, a camp specifically for young people that have physical handicaps. However, some of the young people happen to be deaf. Thank you so much for doing what you do up here. I happen to know a little bit of sign language, and speaking English and doing sign at the same time is a little difficult to do. I know she's going to have to ice her hands down at the end of the day. I really appreciate everything that you are. And so at this camp, everyone that was deaf at this camp was in my cabin, because that was one of the only counselors that knew a little bit of sign language. And the first day at camp, there's a kid in my cabin named Benny. He's got bright orange hair. He has freckles, and he happens to have one arm. And so that is his physical handicap, is he happens to have one arm. If you know anything about sign language, you really could use two arms, but not him, because to him, he only has one arm, so to him, that's normal. And it's the first day at camp. You can have anything you want for breakfast. He chooses one of those little tiny boxes of Rice Krispies. You know, the little ones that are so small, it's ridiculous. It's just like snap and crackle, because there's no room for pop. And so he's trying to open up the box, and he cannot do it because he only has one arm. And again, I cannot help him, because the rule of the camp is you may not help a kid unless they specifically ask for help. At this camp, let them do for themselves. And if they fail, well, then they accomplish failure, and you can celebrate whatever progress they made and help them learn from that idea. And so I'm watching this young man. He can't get it open. He doesn't know that I'm watching. He gets up from the table. He goes over to the bagel bar where they have bagels and cream cheese and little plastic knives. And he takes a knife, and he comes back to the table and stabs the box to get it open. Now, you know that knife I'm talking about that is so cheap it cannot even puncture cardboard, because the knife is made out of Kleenex and Twinkies and oxygen and Spam. And then he takes like 6 knives, and now he goes to town. He starts obliterating the Rice Krispie box. And I'm sitting there. I feel bad for Snap and Crackle, because the kid is becoming a serial killer. So then finally, he takes like 6 knives, starts stabbing the box. He finally gets it open. The box goes sliding across the table. He has to hold the box on his chin and saw like this. I cannot stop watching. The young man next to him, he can't stop watching either. His name's Adam. Adam's in a wheelchair. He's also deaf. He's also partially paralyzed in both arms, so he has limited use of both arms. He has not even figured out how he's going to open his breakfast. He cannot stop watching Benny go through this whole shenanigans. They're total strangers, but Adam is just staring at Benny. They don't even know each other's names. Benny finally gets the box open. He is so happy. He's so proud. He's got a killer smile that takes up his whole face. You can stick a banana sideways in his mouth, right? He finally gets it open. He pours the Rice Krispies into the bowl, pours the milk into the cereal, and then out of nowhere, takes the entire bowl of Rice Krispies and slides it right in front of Adam. And then he sat it down, and he took a spoon and started feeding him every single bite of the Rice Krispies. He gave him the entire thing. And then when he was done, he took a napkin and he wiped his mouth, and he gave him a hug, and then he reached for a new box and began opening that one for himself. And I was frozen. I could not stop watching this. And I realized, out of everything that just unfolded right in front of me, he never made eye contact with me. Not one time. He was not doing it because I was watching. He didn't want to be recognized. He didn't want to be the kid of the day. He didn't want the trophy or the t-shirt. He did it because he had an obstacle in his life that he looked at as an opportunity to touch someone else's life in a really positive way.